Mr. Stewart, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about the other side of the balance. The chief pointed out we're balancing burdens against the government's interest in stopping corruption. And the court below found that you hadn't introduced sufficient evidence of corruption coming from these post-election contributions, both because there wasn't factual evidence, there was conflicting legislative history, and the difficulties with this YouGov survey. So given that there wasn't any evidence of actual quid pro quo corruption causing problems, do you want to address that?
I think maybe the three things I would say are, first, we do think there's an analogy to the gift rules, and so when Congress is building upon an existing body of law, there's less need to, four things actually, there's less need to make a new record. The second is Congress is owed a certain amount of deference, both because it's a coordinate branch of government and because it has special knowledge about the way that campaign financing works.
But even in a case where some heightened scrutiny applies of some sort?
I think to the extent that you are asking, is this a realistic fear, or is this a theoretical practice that we would expect to materialize, then yes, you would give some weight to Congress's judgment, even if you're applying heightened scrutiny. Certainly with respect to contribution limits, the court has given some deference to the legislative judgment, even though it applies closely drawn scrutiny. The third thing I would say is we have introduced, I think, significant evidence showing that people in the real world think this is a problem. People in the real, I don't mean the recipients of the surveys, I mean the commentators, the people who follow politics closely. They may disagree as to the extent, but they agree that this is actually a practice of concern. And then the fourth thing I would say is BICRA has been on the books for 20 years, and so in the nature of things, it's difficult to amass empirical evidence about what would have happened if BICRA had not been the law.